All right. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to another episode of T Gresh Realty. I am your real estate queen, all right, Tanita Gresham. This is a very impromptu live stream. I hope you can hear me clearly. I did not expect to come on here, but since I'm parked and waiting for my food, I figured I'd go ahead and do something constructive with my time, y'all. So today is Monday, heute ist Montag. I hope everyone is having a very productive week, a very successful week. I hope you've had a great holiday weekend. This is Cancer season, everybody, so let's get into it. All right, summer is here. And what we want to talk about today is home ownership, the mistakes that I see with first time home buyers. So, are you on the side of contemplating about purchasing a home, but you're not quite sure how to go about it? You've heard some things, you've been researching, reading, you've heard other people tell their stories, right? You feel a little discouraged. This can all happen to everyone, y'all. I've been a first time home buyer. I know the feelings. You have questions, you have concerns. You keep hearing about the interest rate, the market. People are telling you it's going to crash. People are telling you to wait. And I'm just going to get into it, y'all. So, the first thing, one thing that I find about first time home buyers is they take advice of non homeowners, all right? Taking the advice of non homeowners, in my personal opinion, is not the best thing to do because the non homeowners are more than likely renting, right? They're renters, so they have not purchased yet. They don't know what it's like to own a home, so they don't have the most pertinent information on home purchasing. That's mistake number one. If you are listening to a renter and they have never owned a home before, how can they really give you advice? So that's just like you're going into a courtroom, right? You need someone to represent you, but you're listening to all the people in the stand. Now, have they ever practiced law? Are they attorneys? No, they're not. But you're going off of their experiences. Same thing with first time home buyers. A lot of times they listen to friends, relatives, family members, co-workers, colleagues, neighbors, people that don't even have an expertise in real estate. That is a major mistake for first time homebuyers, you all. Listening to people that used to be in the industry 20 years ago, the market has changed significantly since then. So I would say it's more advantageous for you to seek advice and counsel for someone that is actively currently working today's current market, all right? So you can get the best information that's more advantageous for you, more up to date information. Number two, a lot of times first time home buyers, because they have lack of knowledge, will start riding around looking for homes and they don't have any idea of what their purchase power or the purchase price is, what they can really afford, within their realm of comfortability or their realm of comfort level, right? So you need to understand what your finances are looking like. So you would need to speak with the lender. Now, when I say speak with the lender, I'm not saying go to your local bank. I'm not saying, oh, just call any random person off the internet that say that they can give you a loan or offer you a loan. I am talking about usually getting a rapport with a reputable realtor in your area that truly understands the market, that has a team of local expertise, local experts within that realm of expertise. So, like for myself, I have a team of experts that I like to work with, colleagues that I know is going to give you the best value of service that they can offer. So if a lender is not available, they're not texting you back, calling you back, emailing you back, they're hard to get in touch with. A lot of times you will find that takes place with a lot of these major banks because you have to understand that a bank, the first number one the number one priority of a bank is to make money. So they're in the business of, yes, lending and loaning, but usually that's for like credit cards. They have savings accounts, checking accounts. They have a lot of things that deal with banking, auto finance loans. Yes, they do offer home loans, but an actual lender that specializes in mortgages would be probably more advantageous because they usually have a lot more programs that could be curtailed for your needs as a client, if that makes any sense. All right. So just understand that a home mortgage is a byproduct from the bank. That's not their number one focus. Their number one focus is making the most money they can off of their clients. All right. That's why they're a bank. A lot of people like to use their credit unions, which is fine. Credit unions give a lot of good interest rates as well. But I would still say, speaking with a lender, you're going to have to do it at some point in order to see what your purchase power is if you're going out looking at homes. Also, you have to be aware as a first time home buyer that no one is going to really take you seriously without a pre approval letter, because you cannot actually put an offer in on a home unless you have number one, proof of funds, which means you're going to purchase in cash, or number two, unless you have a pre approval letter, meaning that you've been pre approved through a lender or a financial institution. They've run your credit and they see that you have the criteria that it takes to potentially purchase a home. All right. So that is another thing to just take into account. Another mistake that home buyers make, first time home buyers, is they don't actually go out to seek representation before they try to go look at homes or house shopping. They think that they can just go to random houses and they see a for sale sign in front of the home and that they can contact the listing agent. Please understand that you're doing yourself a disservice. That's just like being in a court of law. You are the plaintiff and you actually reach out to the defense attorney for legal advice for your case. That is what you're doing if you are a first time home buyer and you actually contact the listing agent, which is the seller's agent. That means they represent the seller, they do not represent you. So truly, you don't have representation in the situation. All right, so that's another thing to take into account. The best thing to do before you go home shopping is to seek out a reputable realtor in your local area that knows about the local market to help represent you. They're going to get you through the right steps of getting pre-approved. They're going to connect you with a team of experts that can walk you through the home buying process. They're going to explain what you should expect in your particular market in your area. And if you are looking to move and relocate and you don't have a realtor in that area, you can still seek out a realtor in your local area to refer you, okay, to another realtor in the area that you're about to move to. This is what we do as realtors. We refer all across the nation. And I, for one, have done this for my client. I had a client reach out to me from Houston, Texas. I do not reside in Houston, Texas, nor can I practice real estate in Houston, Texas. But what I can do is I can refer that client to a reputable realtor within the firm that I know is going to take great care of them. And that's exactly what I did when I spoke with that individual. He was not well versed because I think he's like a first or second time home buyer, but he didn't really know the procedure and how it works. So I explained it to him. I asked him what type of realtor was he looking for. Sometimes it does make a difference if it's a male, a female, and he told me what his criteria was, what he was looking in a realtor. I reached out to the realtor. She was very receptive, very proactive, and it was a great fit for both the client and that realtor. Have they made it to the closing table yet? No, because that particular client needed to work on his credit and some things like that. So once he is in the position to purchase, he will be well informed because that agent went out of her way to educate him on everything he needed to know, tell him what he needed to do, was able to get him to a lender that could get him prepared. So now that he's able to make the purchase, right? So that also allows us as realtors to have a good networking strategy amongst one another to help the needs for you as the buyer and the seller, okay? Because it can get frustrating for our seller's agent if the buyer is calling and the buyer has no representation. Because now if you think that you're going to make an offer, you can't, because A, you don't have a pre-approval letter, and B, you don't even understand the documents that need to be submitted to orchestrate the sale, to get yourself to the closing table to secure a property and take the home off the market. So with the National Association of Realtors, there was a lawsuit and there was a settlement. Now we'll get into that a little bit later as far as all of that is concerned, but that is going to actually, it's going to basically dictate that as a realtor now we will more than likely be looked upon to have the buyer to sign a buyer agency agreement with us before we actually show them a property. I know I showed my clients properties without signing a buyer agency agreement. They always say that you should do this prior to showing a property. And so now with this settlement, they are going to require us to do that. And what it says and what that is, it's just an agreement saying that you are working with this buyer and this buyer is working with this agent and this agent is under this firm, okay? Because your actual agreement is not with, it seems like it's with that particular agent and that firm, but it's really between the buyer and the firm, y'all, okay? The buyer and the firm. Now, we're just the agent that takes on the fiduciary duties for the client, meaning we have to put your loyalty first, your confidentiality. We have to provide you all the information that we know that would be advantageous to you as a buyer, okay? We have to be obedient to you. Loyalty, I think we talked about disclosure, giving you all the information that is pertinent for the sale of the home. We have to act with reasonable care and due diligence on your behalf. These are the fiduciary duties that we take on as realtors. It's kind of like when you have a doctor and they have to adhere to the Hippocratic Oath for their patients, or an attorney, all right? It's the same thing as realtors because we are heavily, regulated by the Real Estate Commission, right? So that is another thing that I find that first-time home buyers do is they don't have representation, go out looking at homes, don't have a pre-approval letter, and they listen to other people that are not in the real estate market. They're not actually realtors. They're not lenders. They're just going off of people that told them about their experiences, and this could have been 5 or 10 years ago. Please understand the market changes every 30 to 60 to 90 days, all right? So the market is not going to be the same 6 months ago as it was today, more than likely. So you can imagine that a year, 2 or 3, 4, 5 years ago, when your neighbor bought their home across the street from you, yes, they probably came in at a lower price, but that was a different market. So we need to understand that, and buyers don't understand that. They actually believe, and this is another mistake they make, is that they can time the market and they can catch the market when interest rates are going to lower, and they can catch the market when the home prices are going to go down. News flash, home prices don't usually go down. The only thing that they're referencing is that when we see houses on the market and sometimes the sellers will take $3,000 off, $5,000 off, but it's still in the ballpark of what the sale price would sell for. So essentially, it's not that the home prices are coming down, they're just taking a couple of $1,000s off the sale of the home, if that makes sense. And they think that house prices are going to go down. This does not happen in real estate, y'all. I want you to go back and look at how houses were appreciating from the 80s to the 90s, from the 90s to the early 2000s, from early 2000s to the 2010s, and so on and so forth. Real estate has always appreciated. Land has always appreciated. It's never really going to decrease because, first of all, land is a natural resource and it's limited, all right? Real estate is similar in that you have to build it on land. So the more and more people move, the more and more real estate goes up, okay? Because there's always a high demand for real estate. Right now in the market, the Charlotte market, I'm going to give you some information on that. We have roughly 3.5% inventory on, I'm sorry, 3.5 months of inventory for Charlotte.
Charlotte is a very high performing industry compared to the rest of the nation. The reason being is that we have a lot of people moving here for corporate reasons for their jobs. This is the number one, if not the number two, banking industry in the nation. All right. A lot of people come here and they work in the banking industry. We mostly primarily see people moving from New York, Florida, Chicago, California, and there are about three other locations. But really, Charlotte is a melting pot of people from all over. It's like a country New York, if that makes any sense. So, what normally happens in a market such as Charlotte are the local people have gotten so accustomed to what the home prices have been for the last decade that when the market starts to jump up and home prices increase, right now, an average home that's a two-story in the heart of Charlotte or in the Charlotte area is going to run you 400,000 and up. Okay, so you're going to end up spending about 400,000 and up if you want a two-bedroom home, three baths. I'm sorry, three, 2.5 baths, 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, two-story, two-car garage. That's pretty average for Charlotte. Now, people are saying that that's high. How can you afford it? The interest rates are high. Interest rates right now are around 6.99%. And that is actually lower than the average has been for a long time. People are not aware of that either. They are comparing the 6.99, the 7% to 2021, 2022, when home prices dropped to 2%, 3%. Those days are gone. They are not likely coming back. So, first time home buyers, you have to get that out of your head, all right? Because one thing we cannot do is we cannot predict the market, we can't time the market, we can't outbeat the market. This is controlled by the government, y'all. So either you have the mentality that you want to be a homeowner or you don't. Either you're going to make excuses to not get into your home or you will do everything you can to get into your home. Another mistake that I see people make is they don't want to talk to the lender because they're scared of the credit report. They're scared to get the credit pulled. They already have it in their head. Oh, I know what my credit score is. And that is not the same criteria that the mortgage lender uses to pull your credit. They actually have a whole different rating scale or whatever you call it, that they utilize to determine if you actually could get a pre-approved for your mortgage. So stop trying to pretend like you're the lender when that is, you don't have a license to do that. Please understand that if you are in the real estate industry, such as myself, if you're a licensed realtor, you're a licensed lender, they are licensed, we are licensed professionals for a reason. It's just like the attorney goes to school to get a degree in, law. They didn't just go for no reason. And so if you're trying to tell your attorney how to practice law in their state and you don't have a law degree, or if you're trying to tell the lender that you already know that you don't qualify or you know what you need to do and you haven't even allowed the lender to check your credit report, you're doing yourself a disservice. And a lot of times, first-time home buyers tend to work against themselves and delay their own home ownership process because they are scared to take the first step. They are scared to face the truth and the reality of what the credit report calls for in order for you to qualify. Now, a lot of lenders, will say to wait, or they might say you're ready. You don't know unless you try. So you're doing yourself a disservice by continuing to procrastinate, because the longer you procrastinate, the more the home prices are going to go up. And this even is highly likely in a new construction community. You all talk about that a lot on this channel. If you're looking at new construction and you continue to wait and procrastinate, 6 months down the line, that same house that you were looking at is going to be thousands of dollars more. So what that does is it puts your purchase price or your purchase power lower than what you could initially afford, because that means the house is going to cost more. And this is just how real estate works. This is nothing that realtors make up. It is not that we are trying to pressure anyone into purchasing a home. Another thing that I see people do at open houses is they will say they're represented by a realtor and they're really not represented because they are scared that we're going to call them, we're going to hound them, pressure them into trying to purchase, trying to sell a home. That is really not my style, you all. I just like to keep in casual contact. If you're ready, you will reach out to me. If we're a good fit, we work together. And my motto is this: I only work with clients that want to work with me. As simple as that. The agreement is not a contract. The agreement is an agreement saying that this is what happens. We're working together, okay? I'm going to help you and you allow me to help you. It's an agreement and it can be terminated at any time by the buyer or by the realtor. So if I feel that you're not a good fit or a good candidate to me, I can actually terminate that agency agreement as well. All right? So let's all please understand, some of the basics of home purchasing. If no one has ever told you this, you've come to the right channel. Hopefully this has been informative. I have spoken to some, clients at open houses where they weren't giving, I guess, detailed information. So just by me having a very casual, quick, brief, cordial conversation, I was able to give them some information that was very helpful to them, whether they used me or not, because I'm very confident in my skill and I'm very confident in the knowledge that I have acquired as being a realtor. So if this information has been helpful, please share it with someone. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more useful information, please comment in the comment section below on what you would like to hear me talk about. Also, you can turn on the notification thing. I don't post here as much as I want to, but you can also follow me on TikTok. That's T Gresh Realty on TikTok and T Gresh Realty on Instagram. I do post a lot of interesting, informative content there as well. But I will try to be more active on YouTube because I know every social platform has a different audience. All right. So anyway, I feel that my order is ready. They told me it was only going to be 20 minutes. I've been sitting here for 24 minutes talking to you. So that tells you the dedication that I have. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream and I'm going to go get my food and I will talk to you all later. Y'all have a blessed day. And remember to always be the CEO of your financial future, creating economic ownership. How do we do that? By owning a business and also by owning our homes, you all. You all take care and stay blessed. Until next time, I will talk to you later. This is your real estate queen, Tanita Gresham, signing out. Oh, and if you need to reach me, that's 980-428-2333. All right, y'all.